and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Thanks for joining me this morning, a couple of minutes early, only a couple, just so I can do the normal housekeeping things before we actually start crafting. Let's just check that everything's there, looks like there now. Volume's fine by the looks of things, and I'll share it over to group. Here we go. Awesome. Nearly done. Which one? Oh, that one. Okay, cool. All done, all shared, all ready to go. Let me know as you jump on, say hi. Let me know if it's your first time. I'd love to know where you're watching from and how, that you're joining us for the first time as well. It's great. Couple of things to mention. We're actually now halfway through Saleabration, which is our wonderful annual sales event or joining event. It depends what you want to call it. It's just a great event. Actually, just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to go and move my modem because I noticed things are a bit glitchy, so I have to move it into the open door. I will be 2 minutes. 2 seconds. Okay, back in the room. I just noticed sometimes when my modem has to, I don't know, the waves don't go around the corner, something like that, I don't know. But I'm here by myself, so I could move it to where I want it rather than fighting with Stephen about where he wants it. Okay, so we're back. A couple things before we get started. I've mentioned the joining offer probably 5 or 6 times. We're actually halfway through Saleabration, so you've got another 4 weeks to jump on board with the joining offer if you would like to. We'll go just through the numbers. You get the normal joining offer, which is $235 worth of product of your choice. Now, you don't have to choose any particular items. There's no particular starter kit you have to get. You can choose anything of your choice in that $235, and you get that for $169 with free shipping. But during Saleabration, you can also choose one of 2 options. The first option is probably the most valuable money-wise. You get 2 packs of our Stamp and Write markers. They're valued at $62.50 each. So just together, that's another $125. And then you also get the Handmade Designs stamp set, which has actually been designed specifically to go with the markers. So it's a lovely little bundle there. And that puts the total value of your starter kit up to close to $400. It's $397, and you still get free shipping and you still get your $235 worth of product of your choice. So that's a really good deal. If you're not into the right markers, or you've got them already, or you'd prefer to buy something else, the second option is to just add an extra $51 worth of free product to your starter kit. So that brings the value of what you can choose, perfectly up to you what you choose, to about $286, something like that. Still for the $169 and still with free postage. So definitely worth a good time to join. I actually joined during Saleabration 7 years ago, and it's been the great decision. Never looked back. Of course, you don't have to do videos, you don't have to do classes, you can just buy for yourself. And if you don't meet minimums in any particular quarter, you just drop back to being a customer again. There's no penalties or problems there at all. So let's just get that one gone. So there we are, back in the room. Okay, so I was going to just do one card for you today, which is this little guy here. But I posted a second card on my Facebook page during the week, and it just got rave, 2 or 3 people asked me to do a video, so I thought I'll add it to today's video. So it's going to be a long one, so sit back, grab a coffee, and we will work together. So this is the first one. So which one we do first? We'll do this one first because I've got it here, and it's top of the pile. This uses the Everyday Archers bundle, which is a new online exclusive. So if you have trouble finding it online, please reach out. But if you go into your search bar and just pop in everyday arches, it will come up for you, no worries at all. It's a really nice bundle, and I think the highlight of it is these wonderful arch dies. So there's some really nice dies there. I think probably you will use those. Well, I do. I'm using them again and again and again because I just think they're wonderful. So we're using this one first of all, and I'm going to put it with a couple of Saleabration freebies. So Saleabration's not just a great time to join, it's also a great time to shop and get freebies. So one of the freebies I'm going to use today is the Corner in Bloom stamp set. You can get this one free with a $200 Australian purchase. So we're going to use that one. And we're also going to use the paper that I'm using is this. I'm using it for both of the cards today, actually, the Bloom Impressions Designer Series paper. Gorgeous colours, just lots of little flowers, great for backgrounds, all those sorts of things. And I'm going through it quite quickly. I may have to order another one when I put through my next order. So, yeah, that's what we're going to use that as well. So I've put both of them together. This card, I actually teased my ladies at launch last weekend. I'd actually been working on this one before we started. Just came into the craft room early and popped this little one together just to give them a bit of a teaser. And I have used the arches as the easel front for an easel card. So there we go. So that's what we're going to do with this one. A little bit of a cheat happening on the inside there, and we're going to use the markers to colour in those cute flowers as well. So yeah, fair bit going on with that one, but it's really nice. I quite like it, and the colours really get me as well. They're the current new in colours. They're our Shy Shamrock and our Petunia Pop are the two colours. So I'm using that in the blends or the markers and the cardstock there. So let's make this one. Okay, it's an 11-inch card base, 11 by 4 and an eighth probably, and I've scored it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2, and that just gives the little easel happening there. So also to go with that, I've got some layers, lots of layers of so this is the Shy Shamrock, and I've got a layer of Petunia Pop, which is going to fit in there. That. Just do the basics of the easel first before we get into the arches. And then I've got a layer of the gorgeous Designer Series paper as well. We can use this side. The other side's sort of a lovely blue, tone on tone, but we'll use the flowers. Don't know if she's popping on today, but happy birthday to Rose. It's her birthday today. I have to apologise, Rose. I thought I'd put your birthday card in with the parcel I delivered recently, but then I looked in my stash and I realised that it's still sitting there. So your birthday card is here. I'll pop it into the post since we're headed away on Monday. But it is here, and I hadn't forgotten. I don't know where the week went. I had Sammy's birthday, and then my birthday. Well, no, Jan's birthday, then Sammy's birthday, then my birthday. And then yours was tacked on the end, and I forgot what day it was, which is weird. Okay, so here we have the 3 arches. So these are the 3 largest of the arches from the dies. So the largest one I've done in the Shy Shamrock. The next size down I've done in the Petunia Pop, and a white one for the front. So that's just, as I say, biggest, next and next, all just already cut there. So the biggest one is going to be the backing of the arch, which is going to sit there. So I'm going to glue it just to the smaller, and there's a backing there, what a surprise, just to half of that, where that 2 3/4 inch score line was. I mean, you've seen me make easel cards many times, so nothing new here, nothing too exciting. Just going to pop that straight on there. And then the petunia pop one goes straight onto that. Now I got to this stage and then I realised that I wanted to cut holes in things. So I'd already glued it all together and had to think on my feet how I was going to do the little central sort of archway, sort of like door. But I worked out a little trick which I'll show you in a second. So those two are going to go on there. So we can pop that aside now. We don't need that anymore. Well, we will, but not at the moment. Okay, so now we've got our white archway here. So I'm going to use the Everyday Arches stamp set, first of all, to put the You Are Simply Fantastic around the top of the archway. So here it is here. You Are Simply Fantastic. I'll pop it on a nice big block. Like that. I was going to do the second card we're going to do today. I was going to wait till I got back from holidays, but I'm not actually going to be back for, I've already taped the video for next Saturday when we're away. I'm not actually back till late the week after, so I wouldn't have been able to get to it even then. So it would have been probably 3 weeks till I actually could show you that second card. So I thought, no, I'll pop on, just add it. We'll just do it today, just as an extra bonus. So You Are Simply Fantastic, and you can see how it runs the same sort of angles as the archway. So I'm just going to pop that on there, hopefully centrally. You have to be careful with these ones because they've got all the action happening in that curve there, and so if you wobble your block, you'll dip down in here, which is a little bit dangerous. If you're anything like me, you've got ink there and it's going to cause an issue. So there, You Are Simply Fantastic. So I've just done that in black ink onto the white. Now, I'm going to bring in our corners in bloom, or corner in bloom. And I'm using this little one here. I really did want to use this big bushy one. There's a big sort of extensive corner there, but it's just too big for this particular die cut. So I had to go to this little smaller one, which is quite delicate. It's nice. Probably could have used this one, but even that's a little bit thick for the amount of cardstock we're going to get left. We're going to have left when we've finished cutting it out. So really cute little corner stamp if that's what you like. No sentiment, so you can add it to any other sentiment you've got that you like. So I'm going to pop that on the same block. There we go. This is my, I want to say E, but I know I'm wrong. Oh no, it is. It's my E block. Jeez, that's a bit sad when you know what the blocks are. That was sort of like instinctive. So there we are. We'll ink that up again. I'm just going to use black. Very cute. Flip that over and just use it in that corner there that's got no sentiment. And now it'll have a pretty flower. Hopefully that's okay. There we go. So that's cute. I like that. Okay, I'll pop that away before we have a disaster. So I'm going to grab the two colours that we mentioned, the Shy Shamrock and the Petunia Pop. And I will also use a little bit of Peach Pie just to for a tiny little buds that are there as well. Just going to take my glasses off. Glasses on, glasses off. It's almost as bad as my jumper on, jumper off at the moment. It's like, oh, hot, cold, hot, cold. Having birthday cake with the kids last night, sitting at the table. And I think I had to turn the fan on about 3 times. They're all just sitting there laughing at me. I'm too old to be going through this, I decided. Anyway, nature has a different plan. Okay, so that's the Shy Shamrock. It's the Shy Shamrock, isn't it? Yes. Now I'll just use the Petunia Pop for the main flowers. I'm just using the brush end of my blends. You can See how quick and easy it is to go. So if you're wondering about the joining offer, and you wonder what it's like to use blends, they are amazing. Well, amazing. They're very good. I wouldn't say, amazing. Yeah, no, they're pretty good. Very good as far as markers go. So you have a brush end, which is the end I'm using now, and then you have a bullet end, which is like a normal texture type thing. Okay, nearly there with the petunia pop. And the peach pie, just in those, there's two little buds just there. Okay, done. There we are. Okay, so the plan is now to create this little inner doorway. So it's got a little bit of height to it too, and you can see it has the same paper behind. So as I said, I got to this point here and I thought, I'd really like to cut a little doorway in there, but I'd already glued it on. So I thought, we'll do a little bit of a trick so that nobody can tell what I've done. So what I actually have done is, and I've got to make sure I don't get my pieces mixed up here. That goes on the card. This one must be the one that goes with this. Yes. So what I did was I grabbed another couple of small pieces of our Shy Shamrock and Petunia Petunia pop, and I chopped. This is the smallest of the archways, and this is the next size up. Make sure I got that right. So I've got that in the smallest one with the Shy Shamrock, and the next one up with the Petunia pop. And so I've popped them through the card. I lined them up so that they were all lined up nice and even, and I popped them through my die cutting machine just with that little piece of cardstock each. And then I've got a tiny piece of the Designer Series paper, and I can pop that behind as well. As you can see, I've got that lovely little archway door there, just made up of the relevant colours. I'm just going to glue those together. Now, what's the best way of doing it? I think it's okay to do it this way. There we are. So just glue that there. And I'll just bring in the pink, which is the larger archway, so the second from smallest. And I'll glue that on so that it's nice and even around the edge. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is grab the card. If I put that on there, roughly central, because I won't actually physically do it until I've cut another hole in this one. So I'm going to pop that on there, then bring this one over the top with a hole punched in it, set it up on dimensionals, and no one's going to know that that's just got little scrap pieces behind it. It'll just look like a little doorway into the easel card. So I'm going to grab now my cut and emboss machine, my small one I think will work, and the third from smallest, third from smallest, which is this one I think. Yep, that's right. And I'm going to chop a piece out of the middle of our white archway. Ooh, there's still a dinosaur there left from last week. I better not lose him. In the centre there. Now I want to make sure it looks sort of even all the way around, doesn't chop any of our flowers off hopefully, but it's roughly in the middle of our archway. That looks about right. It's a bit hard to not come in right over the top when you're recording, so I think it looks about right. That's it. We'll go with that. Oh, my machine's running the wrong way. That didn't move. Did that move? Did a wee bit. Can't tell. That'll do. Put that through. And we've got our little hole in there. Put that aside. Put the archway back. There's the arches gone there. Now what we can do is bring this one in over the top of these. So sort of central that. I'm going to have to chop off. It actually overlaps the corner a little bit there, so I'm just going to give that a little trim. Just take the corners off so it doesn't pop up and around the dies. Yep, there we are. Now I'm going to pop this white layer up on some dimensionals so it's actually up and away from our little doorways there. So what I'm going to do, how did I decide to do this? With some dimensionals. And pop some dimensionals just around, not too close to the edge, that would be bad. Just there, just around this one. I'm sort of putting them half on and half off, you might notice. I'm putting them half on the little door and half off. You could use strips if you wanted to. You could use the, like we did with the, did I do a, I know I did a like you do with a shaker card. Okay, I'm going to bring this in and over so that it's sitting right. Just bring it close to me. Just bear with me for a minute. Might even get my head in shot, but forgive me. I just want to get that right. There we go. There we are. Then pop some glue just on that bit. And then we've got dimensionals all the way around, which are sort of peeking out, so they will secure it all the way around. And that goes on top. Here we are. Okay. Cute. Really nice. And I love those colours. It wouldn't be colours that before I joined Stampin' Up I probably wouldn't have dared put those colours together, but I think they really go well. The last thing we need to do, or the second last thing I need to do, is another piece of the Designer Series paper and a wee piece of, it's got to go in there, but it's not, hang on, I'll move it. I've cut it too small, the petunia pop, getting carried away, cut it too small, hang on. Right length, I think. Yep. And I'll pop this onto the back of the card, just in here, so it looks like it's backing. There we go. Takes off that blank, that tiny little blank layer behind there. There we are. Okay, so there. And when it's flat, it's like that. Okay, so we need a foot obviously we always need a foot with our easel cards. I thought I'd cut myself one. I obviously haven't. I won't bother doing it now. I'll just show you. I've just got a little sentiment box here from, I think it's from the Beautiful Butterflies. I've put a little love you on there, and that's the foot for our easel. I won't do that for you now because we'll get on to the by popular demand card. But there you are. So hopefully you like that. And I've just used some basic rhinestone gems to give that a little bit of lift there as well. So you might see those in the sun. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, cute. I love the archways and I love the Corner in Bloom stamp set as well. And the paper is wonderful. As you can see, next I've used a fair bit of it over the last week. So, yeah, hopefully you like that one. Please reach out if you've got any questions on that. You want the measurements, something like that, please do. I'm not sure I'm going to get to them before we go away, but I will try. Okay, so popular demand is this card here. Now, my wonderful team member called Gail, often now and then sends me little cards, little challenges, she calls them. She tends to challenge me. She'll find some card on Pinterest or YouTube or somewhere like that, and she'll go, have you ever made one like this? And it will inspire me to give it a go if I haven't already. And so she sent me this one a couple of days ago and said, have you ever made anything something like this? And I said, no, but I'm going to. So that afternoon I sat down and she sat down as well. Hers was gorgeous, don't get me wrong. It was really, really nice. If you want to see it, pop over to my Facebook page. So this was a card from Mixed Up Crafts from Sam at Mixed Up Crafts, and I'm sure we've all seen Sam's beautiful cards online. But when you open it up, it's okay at the front. It's just, pretty, run of the mill. Well, that's my version of it anyway. You open it up and it's got some major action happening there. So I've used the beautiful butterfly dies to put the butterflies and everything on there. I've used another layer of this gorgeous, Bloom Impressions paper, and both sides of it. So it's got the tone on the back of these cute little flowers. And this is in Blackberry Bliss. So it has the concertina happening here. It's got some triangle effects happening there. If you get down and dirty with it, it's actually got some little, I don't know if you can see it up against, oh, that's better angle. It's got these little lever pits here that stop it, or that make it all open up at the same time, so that it has that sort of action that it opens up together. Yeah, gorgeous. But using A4 paper and A4 cardstock, this was basically 3 pieces of cardstock, and the scraps that were left over were not usable size. So it was basically three pieces of cardstock and a whole more than one piece of designer series paper. So as much as it's gorgeous, it's there was a little bit too much wastage for my liking. So this was probably a one-off card, a very special one-off card. So I sat down and I decided to try and scale it down a wee bit so that it used less designer series paper and less cardstock. And I came up with a 4x6 or A6 version, which is here next to it. Okay, so that's 5x7, that one, so that's huge. And as I said, perfectly beautiful, but it was a bit too much for me. So I came up with a 4x6 version, and I used, instead of the dreaded ribbon, I gave this one a belly band. So this one's got a belly band. Again, I've used the beautiful butterflies and the paper. So I've got the beautiful butterflies embossing folder on the front, and again, we're in Blackberry Bliss with this one, and it opens up. Same sort of wow factor when you open it up. You've still got the little levers at the side, and I've used the same paper and the butterflies as well. So this is my 4x6 version, and I actually got away with one piece of full A4 cardstock for the 2 card bases, and then another strip of about a quarter for the front. So you could actually make 2 of these and use only less cardstock and paper than the big version uses. So yeah, it's my contribution to card making, saving your cardstock. Okay, so there we are. So we'll make this one. I'm not using the Blackberry Bliss because I thought it would be too hard for you to see what we were doing. And I'm not going to actually decorate mine beyond the designer series paper. I'll leave that to you guys to do. I thought because we were already 30 minutes in, I would just give you the basics with the cardstock and the designer series paper, and you can decorate it to your heart's content. Now, if you're on Facebook and you saw the event, I've actually popped the measurements into the event in a picture, but I can add them again to the details of the video if you'd like me to. But anyway, what we've got is 2 pieces of card. This is Daffodil Delight cardstock. The card base, I've made it a wee bit taller than I would normally because there's a lot going on, and I thought I needed a little bit of extra height with everything else that was happening. 8 1/4 wide, so the full length of a A4 cardstock, and 5 3/4 high. So it's pretty much half a piece. So, and that's scored in the middle. Then you need the piece for our triangles, and this is 7 3/4 wide. So I've trimmed a wee bit off the width of the cardstock, and again it's 5 3/4 tall. And we're going to chop this one down. And then we've got various layers of white and cardstock, and we'll go through those as we go. So there's one thing I didn't get myself, and I need to get it to make our little spring mechanism. So I'm just going to use just a strip of yellow again, and I'm going to use this for our mechanism. Now, when Sam did hers, she only attached it once with the little springs. Let me bring it back in, I'll show you. The only attachment between the triangle and the card were these 2 little springs that she popped on hers. So it tended to wobble a little bit when it was up. So I've actually added, and I'll add it again, some little bracing pieces down the side there so it doesn't wobble when it's up. I think Sam added a wee bit of glue at the top, but I thought that was probably still a bit makeshift. So I've actually added some braces, and we have to do that before we add anything else. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is chop this first. So we're going to form the triangle with this one. So what we do with the triangle is that we measure a point which is 2 1/4 inches from the bottom upwards. So 2 1/4 from the bottom up to there. And what we're going to do is grab the trimmer. I'm going to cut them both at the same time so that they're mirror images of each other. So from that 2 1/4 inch mark that you've measured to the top central score line. Don't go that way. You'll regret it for the rest of your life, trust me. Go that way, so the longer edge. There we are. And that is our triangle, even though I've chopped off my measurements, but that's okay. That was going to happen. I might just, yeah. As I say, refer to the image on Facebook if you want the measurements. I'll just get rid of that off the edge there. Okay, so that's our triangular insert. And as I say, I'm going to add that in here. So I'm not wasting cardstock, I'll take the little triangles that I've just chopped off. I'll just trim them down to a couple of inches. And then say 1 inch wide. Yeah, 1 inch wide will do. Just use those 2. I'm going to score them in half at 1 inch. Just score them. So I've got just 2 little L shapes there. What I'll do is grab our little triangle cutout, our little L's. I'll just add some glue. And probably about halfway up, sort of in line where the 2 1/4 point was. Just add 1. So you're lining up the score with of your little L with the score of your triangle piece. Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to flip it over, put some glue on the second one, and line that up as well. So what this is going to do is attach or secure our triangle piece into our card base, so it's not going to do that wobble that if you don't attach it properly, you'll get wobble. So those there, you can see there. Okay, so just two little wings there, like an aeroplane. So we'll bring in the card base and then glue. I'd normally I think I probably would wait for this to dry a little bit before I go any further, but I'll do it now anyway. Then bring those two score lines in, line with each other, line them up there and there. Make sure it's running even with each other across the bottom and lines up with the point at the top. And then do a sample close. We always do a sample close when we're mucking around with angles and things. Do a sample close and firm that down. So that's going to do one sort of point at which our triangle and our card base are joined. Like that. See? Okay. While the glue is curing, you can just make sure it's in nice and firm like that. Now, did I get too much glue? So last time I did this, I had too much glue and it all oozed out. But I think I've done okay this time. Okay, so that's there. Now we can pop the layers of white and cardstock into the inside layer. Okay, so in here. Make sure I've chosen the right ones, the bigger ones. No, I think I've chosen the smaller ones. No, that's one, right? What's this one and this one? It's just the pieces to go on the outside and the pieces to go on the triangle are very similar in width, so I have to make sure I choose the right ones. That's them. Okay, so they're going to go in there, and you can see the reason why I popped those little tabs in first, because once we put the white and the DSP, you'll cover it over and you won't see it. Magic. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to, for this one, I didn't actually realise that that's like a different colour. It's not a tone on tone like the other one. Okay, thinking on our feet, we may have to change slightly from the original design, but anyway, you'll see where I'm headed. Okay, so the white on there, and this one. Oh, measurements of this one. So the white for the inside of the card base is 5.5 by 3 7/8, and you need 2 of them. And the designer series paper is 5 3/8, so 1/8 of an inch smaller, and 3 3/4. So you cut 2 of those as well. Pop this in the back there, so the back of the card base. There's a lot happening on the inside of this card. And so by the time you've done the inside, you're thinking, oh, I'm exhausted. That's what I had to do when I was doing mine with Gail. Sort of just basically did the inside and then thought, oh, I can't do anymore. I'm exhausted. So I went away for a while and came back and did the outside. As I said to Gail, though, it did feel like the outside was a little bit of an anticlimax after doing all the insides. But it's quite pretty. And I think, honestly, this thing, once you give it to someone, it's going to sit open anyway. So, yeah, don't traumatise too much about the outside. Okay, so that one's on there as well. And again, it covers over that little tag there, so you wouldn't even know it's there. Okay, there. Okay. Right, so let's decorate these inside ones. We might put our little springs in first as well. Just make sure I haven't messed that up. So this is just a strip. It's about 1/2 inch, I suppose. Yeah, 1.3 centimetres. It's just a left off cut from something that I'm organising the rest of the card. What I'm going to do is chop that down to 2 inches. 2 lots of 2 inches. And then score each of those at 1/2 inch intervals. 1/2 inch. So at half, I don't know if I can do both at the same time, at 1, and at 1.5. Too hard to do them at once, I'll do them separately. Okay, so 2 inches long, and it's been scored at 1/2, 1, and 1.5. They just form a little W. Okay, 2 of those. So we'll bring our card back. I'm going to pop our little W's in here to join the triangle to the card base. You wouldn't have to do this. I know the one Gail did, she actually sealed these down to form 2 little pockets. And that was really cute. So you could imagine sealing that down and having a little pocket there to put a gift card or something. So, yeah, totally up to you. Or you can just let them, be free and flap around. So I'm just popping, so you can see I'm just popping that little spring there. Then I'll bring the rest of the card in. Just sit it there for a second just to take a bit. So you've got it on that side. And then I probably should have measured how far I did that. I'll guesstimate, so I'll use the same distance. A little bit of glue on there and on there. And pop it on there again. Is that about right there? About the same distance from the other side. And just firm that down as well. Okay. And then you have your 2 little springs. Now when you open the card now, go from the closed position, they sort of open together, which is the look I'm going for. Sorry, I'd moved away from my mic then. There, so that's the look I'm going for there. As I say, purely optional, not entirely whether you decide to do that or not. Now, with the other card, I flipped the paper over so that I'd have tone, because it had a blackberry bushel tone on the other side. This one, if I flip it over, it's actually more peach pie than yellow, which concerns me. So what do you reckon? I'll pop them there. I have to cut them down, of course, because they have to be triangles. But do you think that clashes too much with our yellow? I don't know. If I'd realised, I might have made the inside peach pie instead, but I'm sort of stuck with the yellow now. Or do I just leave it at the same? I really did enjoy the look of that being sort of like a contrast of the tone on tone with the flowers. I really liked that. I wonder whether one of the other pieces has yellow tone on the other side. Let's have a look. I haven't actually explored this. Or a colour that would go better. Let's have a look. No, blue, no. So tell me whether I should flip it or whether I should use the same side. No tone on tone yellow. It's just the peach pie. So what does everyone think? Should I leave it as yellow or will I flip it and do the peach pie side? Flip. Okay, Leanne reckons flip. I suppose it doesn't matter too much. Well, it sort of does, but yeah. Let's flip it and hope that our yellow and our peach pie will go together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll pop that aside. We're going to mark these so that I can cut an angle that matches that angle of the designer series paper. So I'm going to grab my pencil. Where's my pencils? I've got these cool pencils with little rubbers on the top. I bought them in a pack, like about 24 of them, which I sort of got a rush of blood to the head and thought, wow, 24 pencils with rubbers, that's amazing. And now I'm thinking, what in heaven's name am I doing with 24 pencils with rubbers on the top? It's very strange. Erasers on the top, depends where you're from. Okay, so I'm just lining that up so that I have the same border all the way around. I'm just going to mark it with one of my 24 pencils with erasers on the top, where I want it to come to at the right angle. There, so there and there, that's the mark, the cut I'm going to make. I'm going to lay those both together and cut them together. Not that I'm trying to test fate or anything, but that's what I'm going to try and do. So mark it there, mark it there. Line that up. And there we go. On that side and that on that side. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, yeah, I just find that to be the easiest way to do those and actually have the borders nice and even because even when I measure it, I'm sometimes inaccurate. So seeing it on there is the best way for me because I have to see things. I'm sort of like a visual person. I need to see it. I can't sort of talk myself through it in my head. I have to see it actually happen. So again, with the paper, with the orange side up, the peach pie side up, I'm just going to mark again where I want the edges to be. So from there to there. Now I have to remember, I think because I want that side up, I have to flip them so that the two sides are outwards. You could measure them and cut them separately, but I'm just being a smarty today. Let's see if it pays off, or I could live to regret it. So I'm going to chop from there to there. Ta-da! There you go. So that's the option we've got. So we've got the peach pie and the yellow. But this one does have the little peach pie flowers on it, so I don't think it's too far of a stretch. So we'll just get rid of our little pencil marks. Okay, let's pop these in anyway. We'll live with it. Be careful getting enough glue in that top corner when you're gluing things with sharp corners like that. You need glue up there, but not too much. So what I tend to do is put a little bit of a glue further down and then just spread it upwards with the tip of my glue bottle, just so it's not too huge, like it's not going to blush everywhere, but you've got enough there to glue down the corner. Yeah. Okay, that's the insides of our triangle gone. Done. Now the real fun bit is this, and this is what turns it from a fairly ordinary card into something a bit special in my mind. This is our concertina part. So I've used just a full width of an A4 piece, which is 8 1/4, and I've scored it. Ta-da! Look at me, magic. I've scored it at 1 3/8 inch intervals. Okay, so it's 1 1/4 high, and it's at 1 3/8 inch intervals. So 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, which is exactly halfway, 5 1/2, 6 7/8, and then 8 1/4 is the end. So anyway, there's an image of that in my Facebook page at my in the description of this event, but I'll post it there as well. So that's what we want, and it's sort of like a up down up down up down up down. So what you're doing is you're taking that side and you are attaching it to the inside, lining it up with the edge of your triangle. See there? So remember we did, that was 2 1/4 inches there, and this is 2 1/4 inches as well. So we're just lining those up completely with each other, that end and that end. Okay, so we're going to glue that. Eventually we're going to glue that together. But I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of little smaller layers. So these are 1 1/8 inch wide and 1 7/8 inch high. So 1 1/8, 1 7/8. And I've got 6 of those in white, and then the paper must be 1 inch wide by 1 3/4, something like that. So they're all going to sit in there. Got to be a wee bit careful with this paper because it does have an up and a down, I think. I can't get it. Some of them are a bit hard to tell which is up and which is down, but they do, like the little stems of the flowers do run in one direction. And I already know that I've done that one sideways, but it was the perfect size scrap, and I didn't want to waste it. I think that would go that way. Thanks to all the ladies who came to launch last weekend. Last weekend, was it? I can't remember. Last weekend. Anyway, whichever weekend it was. I've ordered, those of you who are using your $15 product vouchers, I've ordered everything that you've asked for. Some of them, the larger orders, will be coming directly to you from Stamping Up. So I think Leslie, yours is coming direct. I think Gail, yours is coming direct as well. Some of them are coming direct, but others, those of you who've ordered just like a single thing, I will have it sent to me here, and then I'll forward it to you with your next kit or class or whatever it is that you happen to be doing. So if you haven't used your $15 voucher from launch yet, please let me know. I'm not sure, as I say, we're away on Monday for 10 days, but I'll order it. I can always place an order while I'm away if you'd like to use your $15 voucher, product voucher. I have to order for you because obviously it's a discount from me, not from Stamping Up, so I have to place the order so I can apply the discount. Okay. Sorry, I've moved away from my mic again. Sorry, just trying to concentrate. Okay, so there we are. We've added our little concertina. I'm just going to close that up into the right way, so hopefully it'll open up the right way. There we are. There we are. How's that? Yeah, no, I like that. I like that peach pie side up. That's really nice. It's a nice contrast from all the yellow. There's a whole lot of yellow happening with this one. Okay, so that is basically the card. As you can see, it doesn't wobble. It's nice and firm in there because of those little extra brackets that we've added, and it opens up in one action due to the little Z fold, little sort of levers we've got at the side as well. So yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. So decorating it is entirely up to you. Once you've put in all the effort to make that, I think you should just let yourself go crazy. Let yourself go crazy with let's go crazy with all your inside decorations. Sorry, I just read Gail's comment. You're a funny one. Okay, so yeah, go for it. Go mad. Put whatever you want in there. And as I say, I've used a belly band. So with the card that I created, the smaller version, I got a circle, so a large circle from the same colour, which is the Blackberry Bliss, and then a smaller one with my sentiment. So you can pop that onto so it overlaps your triangle. So you've got this nice sort of hanging in air effect. And then, as I say, I've used the butterfly from the beautiful butterflies in there as well. So I may do the same with our yellow version as well. On the outside, I've just embossed a panel with the butterflies and popped that onto a white layer. And the belly band, it has run away, here it is. Belly band is 1.5 inches wide. Just wrap an 1.5 inch wide strip around your card, and then you can decorate your belly band whichever way you want. I popped some paper on there, and even though it looks like it's a continuous all the way through, it is actually just a little bit of paper there and a little bit of paper there, because I couldn't find a scrap the right size, so no one would know. It looks continuous, but it is just the edges are hidden down there behind the butterfly. So there we are. So that will actually be, although Mother's Day's a few months off yet, that will actually be my Mother's Day card, because I think it's so cute. Mum will love that with the butterflies. She loves butterflies in her garden, so that one there. So yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to finish with our yellow version, but that's our nice yellow version there. Maybe I'll give it to Steve and he can give it to his mum for Mother's Day. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that one. It sort of was a bit all-consuming, but don't forget we also did our archways as well. So that paper, if you adore that paper, that's, as I say, a freebie with a $100 purchase during Saleabration. Yeah, and so grab it while you can, because you never know, the popular ones do tend to sell out fast when Saleabration is as popular as it is. It's one of our biggest promotions of the year. What else was I going to say? New Saleabration freebies, like a whole new range, will be released on the 4th of February. So probably, if you're like me, you'll hold off till the 4th of February and see if there's anything there that you like. I've got a big order to go in on the 4th, so I'll do that when I know what the new Saleabration freebies are. But I'm sure they'll be wonderful. The second batch is usually just as good as the first. So there we are. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. There we go, just under an hour. So thank you for sharing your hour of your Saturday morning with me. Hope you enjoyed that, both of those. I'd love to see, if you do make this one, I'd love to see how you decorate it and what you do. So please pop over to my Facebook page and post your picture. I'd love to see what you decide to do with that one. It is pretty special. Very, very special indeed. Okay, thanks for joining me, and she'll have another. Not next week, Gail. I'm going to be away next week. The weekend after, you can find me another challenge, and we'll see. Maybe we'll bring it to you in another video as well. But anyway, thanks guys for joining me. Have a great rest of your weekend. I've got a pre-recorded video for next Saturday, so I'll be in. Where am I going to be next Saturday? I'm going to be in Brogo. So if you live anywhere near Brogo, give me a yell, because I'm going to be in Brogo, New South Wales next Saturday. But I have, as I say, a new card that'll come up as a preview on YouTube. But anyway, chat to you all later. Have a great week and be safe, and I'll see